I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. My goodness, I lost my voice. Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY. We are here to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Porsha, K. Michelle, Shamia. I think the code has been broken with Shamia. If y'all listen to my review from episode 2, I said, baby, what is happening with Shamia? I don't understand her and Gerald's relationship, this need to, try to, not make money necessarily, but prove herself in a way that seems a little ridiculous. However, it makes sense now. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that, okay? Welcome, all of you. Come on in. Welcome to Ms. Deidre Keys. Thank you, girl, for coming through. Lady D Keys is the moderator, you guys. She's volunteering her time. Please say hello to her on your way in and hit the like button. What is up, Michi? Nice to have you. Nice to have you. Hey, Diaries. You got the fireball, baby. Thank you, because I need it. Okay, a little fireball. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Come on in, y'all. Get something to drink, get something to eat, have a seat, all the things. We got plenty to talk about. Oops, hold on, y'all. I done messed my notes up. We got plenty to talk about, but before we get started, y'all know I like to put y'all on, okay? So I want to put you on to this skincare that I've been using called the RHOA, okay? RHOA Derm Correction Stick. It's a retinol correction stick. It actually smooths the skin so you don't have fine lines or wrinkles. And I am on my third purchase. Here you go, right here. It was actually developed with dermatologists and plastic surgeons. So you know you're getting the real deal. And like I said, this is my third purchase. I use it every night on the face, on the hands, on the neck, on the chest, wherever you see a problem area, go on ahead and use it, okay? And then also make sure you wear SPF during the day so that you don't burn your skin, because it does get in there, okay? So if you guys would like to buy this product, you can. There should be like a little shopping icon, or actually maybe even the rock that'll come up as an icon on your cell phone. So on your cell phone screen. And if you're on your computer, the actual link is right underneath the menu bar. So go ahead and check it out. Hey, 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 everybody. Oh, looky, I got Dark and Lovely in the building. And Dark and Lovely is Dark and Lovely. You hear me? I love your little Afro girl. Thank you for coming in. She is one of my members. If you guys would like to become a member, you can. Go ahead and hit that link at the very top of the chat and make sure you all take the poll, because I want to know whose side are you on. Porsha or K. Michelle's, because that was an interesting little stumble those two got into. Okay, what's up? What's up? Why does she need a rum company all the way in Grenada? A rich husband? Received a Rolls Royce and a Bentley? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because people tried to beat me about the Head and Shoulders. God forbid she wants her own money. Nothing wrong with having your own money. It's how the words are coming out of her mouth. It's how she's talking about it that's making you like, what is going on? What in the scrambled egg with a little bit of cheese does that woman have going on? And I'm telling you now, I peeped it, so we're going to talk about it. What is up, Prosperity Overflow? Welcome. Nice to have you, girl. So yeah, y'all, let's get into it. Take the poll. The scene opens up with K. Michelle, and I'm about to give y'all all the details because we made it real cute last week. You know what I'm saying? We know that she was at this big event in Nashville. She was asked to sing. It was a true honor. They were honoring this Black woman who, invented, I'm assuming, country music, a real big deal, but nobody ever talks about it because, everybody wants to have their little genre of, and nobody wants to say that Black people were the start of it. But K. Michelle is there to do this honor, right? Come on in, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And old girl went after she got to the event, dressed up, about to go on stage to sing. She's just sitting back there waiting. Her butt pops. And really, she has an infection and the abscess is leaking out. Okay. Because she's had the surgery multiple times. And I don't know if anybody's ever had to deal with an infection like that. I worked OBGYN and fertility for over 10 years. So if anybody knows what that is, it's horrible. It's a horrible thing. Okay. It smells horrible. Everything about it is horrible. Just like any infection. Infections mean that something's rotting. There's something that's dying, right? Infected skin. So, hi, Deidre, also another member. Welcome, girl. Thank you for coming in to support. But K. Michelle said she was sitting there and she didn't even know that everything exploded. The cushion is completely soaked. That's her description of it. And that people had to go clean her up, wipe her down, dry her dress so that she can go out there and sing. And when she first said it, I thought, did this happen before? That was when she first said it. I was like, she's speaking about it like it's never happened before. Because if the silicone is still in your body, which she said it's never going to go away, that can happen at any time in her life, anywhere she is in life, right? That's a surgery that's going to continue to reoccur. Anyway, but she made it seem like it was a one-time event. And I said to y'all in my review, if old girl is going to tell this story, I want her to tell it right. I don't want her to make it seem like this is a first-time affair. And I understand that it might be embarrassing. So, sometimes you leave out details when things is embarrassing, but it's the type of stuff that someone's going to go behind her and correct if she doesn't just say it like it is. And I'm saying all this because she didn't. She was asking for a whole lot of grace in that first episode. You're telling us that this happened, and now we see her in the hospital. She's had the emergency surgery. This is a surgery, like I said, she's already admitted. The doctor said, we're going to go back in like we did before, another reconstructive surgery. Don't eat anything. When we give you the call, that means that the emergency room is open. We got whatever the staff that's needed to go back in, basically cut all that infection out and stitch you back up. Okay. So that's what he told her. And that was when I was like, well, this has happened before, girl. So now we know. But you thought it was her second time. I don't know if it's her second time or third time or fourth time. As she speaks about it in the episode, she makes it seem like it's happened multiple times, not a 2-time deal or a 3-time deal, but it's definitely happened before. So we do know that. And I'm saying that because she already said this is going to be a lifetime. She also, if I'm not mistaken, said that having that silicone in her body triggered an autoimmune response. And I think she said that she has lupus, I think. Not for sure. I did not look that up, but for some reason, I remember her saying that. So if I'm wrong, and it's a possibility, go on ahead and put in the chat, child. Just know this is what I believe that I remember. Okay. So anyway, when she opens her eyes to things, she said, well, I'm still alive. That's true, because this could kill you. Okay. Having an infection in your body brewing, waiting to pop. There are signs that you have that infection. Typically, you get real warm, you feel sick, you're feverish, all the things. But she said, well, thank God I'm still alive. And her husband is there. He's playing around on his phone. She's asking questions about, do I look good? Am I pretty? He doesn't even look at her. I know they've been in this relationship for a long time, or whatever, since high school. But he's kind of playing her to the left a little bit, like, you've been in the hospital about this so many times, girl. I'm not here for this. That's what I was getting. Like, this is a very routine thing for him, not the second time, but a routine thing for him. That's what it looked like. And she has a whole glam squad coming up to the hospital to get her together. She said, I'm not even leaving this hospital without full hair, makeup, an outfit, the whole 9. That came to the hospital so that she can go to her next event. Okay. Anyway, I wish her the best. Again, I am happy that she's telling this story because there's a lot of people that does have this issue. And I also think it's very brave of her to share it. It's very brave. Okay. Anyway, next up is Drew and Angela. Drew and Angela are on deck. Drew stops by Angela's house to, catch up, gossip, all the stuff, all the stuff. Hey there, Miss Ophelia. Nice to have you. To catch up with her. And Drew lets us know, first off, Angela's daughter, the one that's married, and I thought lived in Chicago, her daughter is living with her. She said that they needed a reset after everything that went down between them. Y'all know she didn't agree with her getting married to another woman. And so Angela said she's here now. Her mother passed away. They're having a reset in their relationship. Things are great. But she is away from the wife for a little bit because Angela said that she's going to stay with her until school starts back up. And then she's going to leave and go back home to the wife she lives with. I'm not sure what's going on with that because that blew my mind a little bit. I was like, well, Angela, don't she got to go home? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're there for each other because of, they're mourning the loss of her mother. And then also maybe she needs someone to film with her because maybe Charles doesn't want to be a part of everything like he was last season. I don't know. Anyway, Drew tells Angela that she is on the struggle bus when it comes to balancing her work life and children. She said right now, movies pay all the bills. So she's on set doing X, Y, and Z. And maybe this has given us a little insight as to why the judge snatched some kids from her, even though her and Ralph were living in the same house. And I hate this for her. I really do. Oops, sorry about that. That was my husband. Anyway, the judge snatched some kids for her, even though they live in the same house. But Drew does not have the support she needs to do her work. This is what she gets paid to do. And I think that's unfortunate. Hey, Erica, welcome to the chat. And I think that's unfortunate. But she said it's giving her the blues, and she didn't even realize how hard it was. They give us a flashback of her oldest son, who is a cutie pie, by the way. And then her daughter kind of laid out and crying. They're all going through the transition of a man that used to live upstairs, now living in the basement. Their parents seem to be happier without each other. They're dating, they're doing their own thing. And a child has to figure this out in their mind too. But right now, everything's changed for them. So her daughter is like crying and upset. And Drew's trying to figure out what's wrong. What's wrong? Do you know what's going on? She's asking her son. He's reading a book like, no, no, I don't know what's going on. Don't ask me any questions. Anyway, Angela said, I'm having the same problem because Angela got a little one too. Even though she got a teenage daughter, she got a son and a young daughter as well. And she said, baby, I have the blues too. I need to have my ass home with these kids. And I am outside working and doing all kinds of stuff. So I have the same issues as you. Okay. I don't know. And Angela must have really good childcare. So hopefully she talks to Drew about it. But Angela also says that she lost $2 million in a real estate deal. Now, y'all remember last year or season 16, Angela said that she asked Charles to invest in her in them homes. So she might have had a little bit of her own money, but it sounded like she had a lot of Charles's money. And he kept saying, get rid of it. I don't give what it costs. Get rid of it. And I'm assuming it went into foreclosure, some or all of the properties, but it was 4 homes that she lost. Okay. And now she said she's in this deal again, and Charles knows about it, but he doesn't want anything to do with it. And so now she's figuring out how to do it on her own. She doesn't have the support, not that she had it anyway, of Charles. They also talked about Drew dating Mr. Black, aka Mr. Telephone Man. Okay. And Angela said, baby, hold on one second, y'all. Okay, sorry about that. Angela said everybody knows that Drew is getting broke off. She getting the D. I don't know why she wants to pretend like she is not. Drew is literally glowing in these scenes, baby. Drew done lost some weight. I don't know if it was the stress of the divorce, if she, took a little bit of that shot or what. But Drew looked like old school Drew from back in the day, 20 years ago, Drew. Drew is fine, okay? I'm like, damn, what is going on? What y'all talking about? You said, she's not too bright. You said Drew is not too bright, living in the same house with her ex. I believe he has set her up to say, you believe that he has set her up to say, oh, they could stay home today and look what was used against her. You think so? Because she's not even supposed to talk to that man. So hopefully they did what the court told them to do, which is talk through the app. But Drew knows she can't trust that mother. So Drew gotta, if you got somebody living in the basement that you don't want there anymore, both of y'all have an income, at least that's how they made it out to be. They made it out like they were both trying to figure things out financially and could not live outside of that house. Like they needed to both stay in it. Then Drew came out a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week, and said that after she was ordered to leave the home, she said she can't financially pull it. She said, I got to stay in this house. Hell, if you want to move Ralph upstairs, move me to the basement. But I don't make that much money. And she said she made about $12,000. And for a lot of people, in fact, most people, they could live off $12,000 easy. But Drew sounds like she has a lot of debts because people keep coming out and saying that Drew owes them money for stupid shit. So if they're saying that she owes them money for dumb stuff, maybe her money is tied up in loans and other things. Drew might not be bringing that much home every month, but she said that Ralph makes damn near $70,000 a month. Who? How? That had to be a mistake. I don't know who. When I was reading it, I said, are you sure it's 70 something K a month? Because if that's the case, he should have been out of that house. He should have been out of that house when they looked over the finances. The judge should have said, you got to go, partner. Okay, get yourself a damn penthouse suite somewhere downtown and you come pick them kids up on your week. That's what she should have said. You said you're devastated. I'm not surprised. She's a woman. They don't make a lot of money. $12,000 a month is a lot of money. That's a lot of money, but it sounds like she may have mismanaged. Listen, the median, I think people on Medicare, Medicaid, whatever, they bring home under $900 a month. That's it, 900. Okay, and then I think 50K is the median income, which is what, about 12. Close to 2,000 a month. 12,000 a month is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. 77,000 is a lot of money too. When people make it seem like 12,000 isn't a lot, we are jaded. We are jaded on what people actually make for a living. Oh my goodness. But that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And I don't know. We'll have to see. I haven't heard any updates on it, but I hope she isn't homeless, for Pete's sake, especially given all she has going on. But she should get a nice penny from everything. It just sounds like Drew mismanaged her money. Ralph controlled everything. Baby, I don't know. She's the one who wrote it out there and said that Ralph makes that amount of money. But yeah, Ralph did control a lot. But we want Drew to get back on track. We wanted to get back on track. Okay, so now we are at the scene at the salon where Porsha has invited the girls out. Cynthia, Phaedra, and K. Michelle. K. Michelle is literally leaving her hospital room and driving to this spa date to get her feet done. Porsha said, I'm out here dating again. I can't be out here with no damn claws. Claws scaring the people I'm dating, okay? But look, when K. Michelle pulls up, her husband has to help her out of the car. That is how much, she just had surgery. Literally, that's a trooper. But she's coming out. She's walking slow. The husband got her by her arm, and he tells her, you really should have your ass at home. What are you doing? And she said, I'm going to do what I want to do. And he stopped talking. He literally opened the door for her and was like, go ahead and I'm not going to walk you to where you need to be. This is where I stop. So you get your ass in there, however you get in there. And then he went and got back in the car. Kay gets to the desk and she ends up telling the guy that, I need help walking back to where her party was. And I was like, Kay, oh my goodness, where's the little donut cushion that you're supposed to sit on to make sure that, your butt don't hurt? But she gets back there, baby. After she gets back there with her full glam team, she was done up. Cynthia Bailey. Kay did say that everybody on the cast had reached out to her, sent her cards, flowers. Shamia came up to visit. Porsha asked multiple times if she could come up to visit, but I guess Kay didn't allow it. I don't know. But when Kay makes it back to where everyone is, Cynthia says, so give us an update on what actually happened. Because Cynthia is out of the loop, even though she's like, girl, it's good to see you. And should you be here? She knows that she went to surgery. So she was like, give us an update. What actually happened? And Porsha quickly says, do you want to talk about it? Because, it looks like she's trying to maybe guard her or protect her from putting too much out there. I'm not sure. But when someone says, tell us what happened, and somebody from the left says, girl, only if you want to talk about it. Don't say nothing if you don't want to talk about it. I thought that was important because we know that shit that's said on TV can be used against you later. That's just what it is. But maybe Porsha doesn't realize, I don't know. Maybe Porsha doesn't realize that cameras are rolling, that they already filmed K. Michelle in the hospital. Maybe she didn't know that she was that open with the secret. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she thinks it's still a secret. Anyway, Kay says, yeah, I don't have a problem talking about it. And she tells them about how she was about to perform. And then, she's sitting there and she just stands up. Maybe there's so much pain back there that she doesn't realize when there's a problem. But she said, I just stood up and my entire bottom of my dress was wet. The couch cushions was wet. And Porsha says, oh my God, did you have a miscarriage? And Kay looks at her like, she goes, no. And then Cynthia Bailey chimes in and she said, yeah, it sounds like your water broke or something. So now both of them are in it, right? And Kay says, no. And she lets them know. Kay actually jokes about it. She didn't seem overly offensive, but she joked about it. And then she basically said what it came from was the surgeries that she's had for her butt. In confessional, she said, listen, it's not the actual butt job or butt lift that she did that's the problem. It's the silicone. And it is the silicone. The silicone gets hard. It literally starts rotting the tissue around it. So every time that silicone gets hard, it rots the tissue around it and they have to go in and cut it out, right? And Kay's a young woman. So this is all something that she's going to have to deal with forever. But when she's in her confessional, she said, what the hell is wrong with Porsha? Why would she say that? That didn't have nothing to do with my hot pocket. That had to do with my ass. My ass popped. I don't know why she's making one more sensitive than the other. They're both on the, if I had to guess, I would say the silicone issue in that moment was actually the bigger issue. That's what it feels like to me, because that shit can kill you, girl. You woke up and said, at least I'm alive. Anyway, after all of that, she catches everybody up to, to par. And I don't know, Cynthia learns what a hot pocket is. That's something she never heard of. At this point, K. Michelle feels like she's setting up Porsha because she's an easy target. Go after the big wig, okay? Bottom line is, I just don't understand why that question, even if she believes Porsha knew exactly why she was there. I would say, girl, I would have rather said, girl, you know why the fuck I was in the hospital. We talked. And then let her go, oh, well, I didn't know. I was just saying, let her do that. But you played the okie doke right along with Porsha when you were like, no, you did the same thing. Doesn't matter. Okay, come on in, y'all. Keep taking the poll. We're going to vote at the end, okay? Now let's get to my one of my faves on this show now, and that is Miss Shamia and Gerald. I already told y'all I questioned Shamia and Gerald for a little bit. Not that they don't love each other or anything like that, but just that their relationship seemed a little odd. The weight of it, the balance of it. But they are walking their 6-year-old to her school. Okay, they live in an amazing neighborhood. Every building they pass look like a damn mansion or like a building in Italy. You know what I'm saying? And they're just walking the street. This beautiful Black family with their stroller. They got their 2-year-old in the stroller, taking their 6-year-old up to school so she can go to first grade. Okay, walking together. Beautiful little scene if you missed it. When she drops the baby off, Shamia and Gerald go walking back to their house. And Shamia says in her confessional, listen, Gerald opens a new business every month. Every month, Gerald has his hand in a new pot. It's time for me to, break myself out there, which is all good. But what she lets him know while they're walking is that the deal is done. I signed with the people over there in Grenada, and I will be a part of the rum company. It's been greenlit. And he's just walking, and he's kind of, if you didn't really understand it, you wouldn't know if he didn't understand English or what the fuck. But after they show that scene in the middle, we realize he's like, I got myself a little Chrissy Snow from Three's Company on my hands. I'm telling her, as a businessman and a successful one at that, don't do this fucking deal. Everything about it is rotten to its core. You can do any deal in the world, Shamia, but this one's the wrong one. Right? So he just stops talking for a little bit. She goes, how do you feel about it? And it takes him a second to, think of the words he wants to say on camera. You get me on damn camera to drop this on me and have me react when I already told you I didn't want you to do this shit? Oh my God. He's not happy with the deal, right? So then Shamia said, yeah, in her confessional, yeah, he don't like it. He didn't want me to do it at all. In fact, he damn near got me canceled. And then they show us a phone call that Gerald has with these people in Grenada, where Gerald is asking 150 questions, all money questions, all the questions you're supposed to ask. So he damn sure had your best interest at heart. So he's like, well, how do you, get to this number? What you do with this, what you do with that? And the whole time he's sitting there, you can tell that his head is hurting because whoever he's talking to, he knows isn't up to par. He knows it. They're not people you should be doing business with. And by the time it was all said and done, Gerald said that what you guys need in order for Shamia to be a part of it is y'all got to get a whole new, find some more investors. More money needs to be poured into this. Okay? And y'all need to get y'all product market ready before Shamia gets on board. She doesn't have to make the rum. What you want is a face, a name, somebody y'all think is recognizable to put on the front of a bottle so that you can say this is Shamia's rum. He told whoever he was talking to, your product isn't market ready. She shouldn't be on the bottle. You are trying to push out some bullshit plum juice, some lemonade, and call it rum. This isn't for her. And then they disconnect. While Gerald is saying this, Shamia she's upset that Gerald has this energy for whoever he's talking to, which I'm like, Shamia, it's not like you hit the lottery. They need you. You don't need them. And Gerald is actually being as kind as he can be, but he's telling them that product is some bullshit and you're not market ready. And that is real. That's real. But Shamia it's a punch in the gut to her. And she is just sitting there with her eyes big. And when Gerald is finished with the call, he jumped up so fucking quick. He said, I got another call. And he walked out that room fast as hell. And Shamia said the second that call was up, she booked a flight to head back over to Grenada so that she could seal the deal because Gerald damn near ruined it for her. This is her shit. This is her business. This is her piece of the pie. She want to put a little something on the damn electric bill, okay, on the water bill. You shouldn't have to pay everything in this $9 million house. I was like, oh my God, this girl really is. She will be called Chrissy Snow, the Black Chrissy Snow from now on. That bitch is, that's what it was giving to me. When Gerald is walking, now I get it. He is real patient with Shamia because Shamia is not meeting him where he's at. Business-wise, they are thinking on two different planes. Gerald is up in the clouds. Shamia is in the Earth's equator, and she's not taking advice. Gerald thinks linear. He thinks numbers. If the shit don't add up, I ain't doing it. Shamia thinks feelings. It feels like a good deal, so I want to do it. That doesn't mean it's a good deal, though, girl. That's why you get a motherfucker who actually can crunch numbers. And you can see he was working the shit out in his head. He didn't have a pencil or nothing. He was like, what are you doing? And then she'll be crying when the deal goes bad. Exactly. But she's walking down the street now, and she says to him, I want to retire you one day. I want to help make as much money as you. Well, maybe not as much money, now it's a joke. But Gerald is not listening to it as a joke, because really you can tell that there's so much on different planes when it comes to this kind of stuff, to business, that he has to turn her off in order to deal. And she turns him off too. Let me just say that. She turns him off too, because when Gerald is trying to make sense to her and say, this is what it is, Shamia doesn't have what it takes to hear it. She only talks feelings. She's frou-frou, as the old folks would say, okay? Me, I'm the old folk. Me, I'm the old folk. And you said the beverage industry is one of the hardest and most competitive to break. So she needs to listen. Well, she's not going to listen. And that's what I say when everybody's like, they don't have chemistry. No, I think that he definitely loves her. He loves his family. I think she loves him. But I think that Shamia wants to prove herself to him in business. And that's really what this shit is about. I want to show you that I'm valuable and I'm smart and I know things. And maybe you just don't. And it's okay to say that's not my field. That's cool. But Gerald's so against it that he's not even showing up at any more meetings. At this point, he's just like, I don't care. But I was like, oh my goodness, she's so frou-frou that he turns her off. I can't listen to you. You asked me for my help. I gave you my help. Now, this is insulting to me based on the shit that I do for a living. I make millions. I am in new business deals every month. I have a $9 million house, and you are playing on my top by listening to some people in a whole nother country that you can't even keep your eyes on good for real. They're just going to use you, girl. No, it's a solid ass no. Anyway, loved the scene, by the way. I did read a whole bunch of comments over there on IG, and I kept saying, what happened? What happened? Now that I saw it with my own two peepers, I realized what it is. But they end up having small talk on some other level. Come on in, you guys. Welcome. I appreciate y'all. They end up having small talk on some other level. But if Shamia doesn't get her shit together and stop trying to be an equal on that level to Gerald, you're not an equal, boo. There's a whole lot of people that isn't his equal either. And it's okay. He still chose you. You have a whole lot to offer. You are an actress. You are beautiful. You're a singer. You got a whole lot of shit that he can't do. But stop trying to insert yourself into business dealings, asking for his opinion. And then when he gives it to you and the shit was solid as hell, I understood it. You completely ignore him and hop on a plane. That's disrespectful. I told your ass not to do it. For you to get on a plane and say, listen, I need mama or whomever to take care of the kids. I'm going to head over here and make sure I seal this deal. I know it's the right one for me. How humiliating. Don't you keep embarrassing him like that. He's going to, that's all I'm going to say. Erica, I was just about to say that. And then I said, oops. Listen, you done brought that damn relationship on. And when somebody figure out the recipe, okay, How long do you think it'll be before someone sneaks in there and gives him the conversation that sounds like music to his ears? You know what I mean? You're a lot, Shamia. Not that you shouldn't be loved, girl. I think that he loves you and that you have a beautiful family and all the things. But we're about to go into one of the biggest scamming economies ever based on that's going down now. And let me tell you, it don't take nothing for somebody to show up where somebody else is. Okay, drop something on the ground, pick it up, be the damsel in distress, and before you know it, this man the thing. Well, hell, maybe the fruit, and maybe I'm a part of the fruit now. To me, it's so silly that the girl said, maybe we can get the liquor over there in Kenya. He said, we don't drink rum in Kenya. We drink whiskey. She went, well, you're going to have to be a rum drinker today. He was like, okay. Listen, girl, you haven't thought this all the way through. Go back to the drawing board. What's up, Babette? I love me some Babette. Welcome to the chat, girl. She's another one of my members. Y'all know how I feel about them. So come on in. Everybody hit the link or take the poll. And if you would like to be a member, go on ahead and hit that link at the top of the chat. But I love to see all of my folk in here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But yeah, that girl's going to mess herself up big time, child. Whew. Cut it out. Cut it out. Anyway, after all of that, and again, I don't wish anything bad. I'm just talking the shit I know. I'm telling you what I know. I've seen it plenty of times. Anyway, now we are with Pinky, and Pinky goes to see a bankruptcy lawyer. Lord have mercy, Jesus. She's another person that messed up her finances because she didn't know everything. It looks like she picked the wrong CFO, the wrong lawyer, the wrong everything. Okay, so she comes in, she sits down with this attorney, and she tells this bankruptcy attorney, baby, I'm sinking. I owe 20 damn million plus. And I only found this shit out after I was able to buy my business back from a team of investors who was taking me through there. Okay. They had all kinds of ideas from that I did not like and did not want. And so I told them, y'all got to hit the road, Jack. And the second the motherfuckers left, I end up finding out that my CFO had me in all kinds of trouble. Okay, making all kinds of bad deals for me, signing contracts that she shouldn't have signed, or he shouldn't have signed. And I am the personal guarantor for every loan, every lease, every rental, everything that needs somebody to say, bitch, how do I get my money back? I signed for it. Pinky Cole. And the bankruptcy lawyer said, your attorney was okay with this? And she said, yeah. So not only was your CFO a mess, your attorney was also a mess. Everybody was looking for a quick check. They was looking for the money you was giving them. And I know it was a pretty penny. And they didn't give you not 1 ounce of advice, because even Kenya Moore knew not to put her to guarantee that LLC that she had signed up for that damn that salon. Kenya said the LLC is going to be the signatory, not I. There's no personal guarantee here. If it goes under, it goes under. But unfortunately for Pinky Cole, literally $20 million plus under, which is crazy, Just so y'all know, and this is, everybody says this is such great information. We think that when we go sit and talk to somebody because they have a title or went to school for some shit, that they must know. And there's just the biggest scammers and snakes sometimes too. You got to get referrals. You got to make sure that people know what the fuck they're talking about. After you get a deal done, you got to talk to somebody else to say, hey, does this sound right? It's a lot of stuff that goes down when you get together with these people. But it's unfortunate that they all played her. And anyway, now she's sitting here with her hat in her hand. She said she's embarrassed as fuck because she was like one of the premier businesswomen in the United States, a Black businesswoman at that. Like everybody around the world, or at least within these United States, knew her name, knew Slutty Vegan. And now she is here trying to save it all. And even though I'm up to the task. I'm not up to the task. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is killing me. She's crying her makeup off. She the lawyer, the bankruptcy lawyer is letting her get it out. He said, okay, cool. Now it's time to take notes. You done? Because what we're not going to do is you're not going to come up in here every time and start crying to me. We need to put a strategy in place so that you can get to the next level. Okay. I liked him, and he didn't even make her feel bad when he was like, your attorney was like, I need to know if you did what you're supposed to do. And she said, yeah. He went, okay. Okay. Yes. So listen, it's a problem. Anyway, she tells him that her finances are completely separate from her husband's, and she hasn't told him that she was coming to see him, the bankruptcy lawyer. I haven't even told him yet. I don't want him to know anything about my struggle, the struggle bus I'm on. And he's like, okay. Like, this is a lot, right? You're doing all of this by yourself. But yeah, she said that what she has going on should not affect her husband. I don't want him to know. He's not going to put no money on it to correct it. I'm a file bankruptcy, because at this point, if your husband can save you, I guess he's like, well, shit, if he got 20 million, let him pay the 20 million. It's better to owe your husband. And she said, no, that's how strong this woman is. He might fucking have it. I'm not asking him for it. I'm not asking him for it. I want our shit to be separate. Shamia, are you listening? Anyway, I just thought that was some stuff. That was some stuff. I really enjoyed the scene. It was nice to see. And I really think that she's gonna have all this debt paid off. I would give her less than 5 years. I think she'll have it all paid out and back on track. But she's a strong person, because baby, the way I would have went home and been like, is there any way you can at least give me 10, put 10 million on it? Okay. You said, no, Ralph. Okay. So anyway, after that meeting, after the bankruptcy lawyer meeting, we get Cynthia Bailey, the OG. Y'all know Cynthia's a friend of the show, but the OG is calling a meetup with the new ladies, K. Michelle and Pinky, right? She said, I don't know them, but I would like to get to know them a little bit better. And they come in to meet with Cynthia. I guess they're doing lunch or whatever. Kay and Pinky are really good friends already, though. They are Deltas, and I guess they talk to each other. They're always at meetups for their little sorority meetings. They have history together. But we find out that after the spa date, K. Michelle went on a tweeting rant. Actually, Bravo called it toxic tweets, where she was calling people bimbos and don't play with me, bitch, and I'm activated, and you name it. Okay. Bimbos are always loud and confident. Shut your face. Shut your face. One of them said, I will sit there and smile. I'm my own person, but I will sit there and smile and clock it. I'm not with none of that BS. So she went off, and all the ladies were trying to figure out who she was talking to. And Bravo ended up bringing everybody in for their own confessional to read K. Michelle's tweets and, mimic them. Like, they're talking like K. Michelle. Porsha has a mean K. Michelle voice. Okay, she knows how to mimic her perfectly. But they're all talking about it like, we don't know what the hell got this little lady all crazed out. But it was crazy. Okay. Anyway, K. Michelle is a strategist. I'm just going to put it out there. This is what it's giving to me. K. Michelle said, I'm going to knock out 3 birds. The 3 birds are the OGs: Cynthia, Phaedra, and Porsha. I'm knocking out all the OGs right now in one fell swoop. She already started by doing the tweets, because she didn't react to that shit when Porsha said it the first time. She didn't even react to it. But then she went home and thought about it and said, you know what? Let me get this ball rolling. And she started it. Cynthia invited her to this little brunch, and she basically said, make sure you go back to your people and let them know that I'm not the one to be fucked with. Don't play with me. I'm going to get some shit started, And it is what it is. So she tells Cynthia that she ain't feeling Porsha too much. She thought she was insensitive. She's a fucking dingbat and everything else. And Cynthia was sitting there like, I didn't even invite you here for this. Like Cynthia's straight up like, oh my God, now I gotta take this shit back to them, right? Because she, after she finished dogging her, she ended up saying some shit like, and tell me this, what's Phaedra's problem? All that bitch does is giggle. Now she basically calling Phaedra dumb. What does she do other than giggle? Why is she here? She's not giving anything to the show. Okay? What's up? I'm sitting here talking, everybody else talking, she ain't saying shit. Okay. Then she ends up getting knocked down, or who else got knocked down? Phaedra gets knocked down by Pinky Cole, who said she likes to eat dead people and her wigs are crazy and her makeup. Like every 5 seconds, Cynthia's face was like she's just going back and forth between them, like in shock. And I'm like, Cynthia said, I didn't listen. I don't know. And then Pinky says something like, Cynthia's so easygoing. She doesn't want any drama. She does not. She does not want any trouble. That's why she's a friend of, baby. All she wants to do is come in, do her scene, laugh a little bit, and leave. You've brought way too much to her plate with this conversation. But it was funny though. Anyway, at the end of it, Pinky does a little prayer. K. Michelle knows that she got off exactly what she needed to get off. Make sure you go back and tell both Porsha and Phaedra what I said about him. Okay, I don't want this to be a secret. But she does agree to meet up with Porsha. She agrees to meet up with Porsha because she said, I'm gonna ask her in person. They basically try to convince her, girl, go ask what she meant by saying the miscarriage thing. Since you're so offended, because that was insensitive. Okay, whatever. Anyway, now let's talk about Drew and Block. Is his name? I said Block. My bad. Block is Candy's baby daddy. It's Drew and Black, Mr. Telephone Man Black. Okay, so Drew is at a hookah bar or a restaurant. I don't know what, but she's over there, and Black comes in. And boy, was he a sight to see. He had on this hot ass leather shirt that's unbuttoned all the way down with nothing underneath, child. Bare ass chest, nothing but tattoos on it. All the way from the neck down to the pant line, okay, down to the waist. Tattoos everywhere. Up his arms, everywhere. He has really white teeth. I thought for a second that he had something on his teeth that was blinging them out, but it was just a reflection of his Flavor Flav ass chains, because he had on a medallion, a B, the letter B, that was so big it looked like it had to have weighed like a good 20 pounds around his neck. So diamond chains, silver chains, big medallion B laying on his bare chest, and he walks in, letting Drew know, it doesn't get any sexier than me. I don't know why you're playing. It doesn't get any sexier than me, child. Drink up so that we can head back to the hotel later, because I don't care how Drew is trying to deny it. There was so much sexual tension between them two. Between them, it was insane. Drew and Black are definitely bumping uglies, period. I don't care. I know people like to give Drew all the, she's such an angel. Drew let that man rub up and down her leg underneath the table. I don't know if she didn't think the camera was going to catch it. They did. Okay. And then she had to say, well, we do everything but sleep together. We cuddle. We say, I love you to each other. You cuddle. You're letting a man spoon you, and you know he likes you, and you don't think he's getting it in, Drew. How old do you think we are? How old do you think the people are that's watching the show? Stop lying, okay? This man said, not only did he love you, Drew, he showed up there with gifts for your children. He told you you need to get that divorce over with because you the marrying kind, okay? You're an investment and he's been investing in you is what he told you. Because you were like, well, what if I dated somebody else? He said, that's not what this is. Don't use me like that. You and I are together because I love you, girl. I expect this to go to the next level. And he basically said that he wants to marry her. That's how deep it is. So when we were all trying to figure out why that man was on the phone for 3 hours, that's why. He is smitten by Drew. And Drew's smitten by him too. Drew said that she needs to be able to pass the time. Child, I date. Okay, whatever. We date. Cool, cool. She still wants to make it seem like it's not a romantic relationship. I get that maybe she doesn't want to spill her business all across TV because she has children. But we all know that that's a romantic relationship. Period. That man gets what he wants. And hopefully you should be asking his ass for money to help you get an apartment if you are forced out of your house, out of the home that you've lived in for all this time. And I know Ralph, I heard anyway, that Ralph made sure his name was the only one on the deed. Is that true? Yikes. Okay, moving on. Are we at Angela and Amari? Okay, Angela and Amari. Angela goes to one of this new property that she has purchased for $160,000, even though she went bankrupt, or not bankrupt, my bad. She had to foreclose on the other properties. Okay, give them back to the bank, child. And lost $2 million. She said she's rolling the dice on this new one. She still thinks she has it in her and she wants to put some closure to things, right? I already told y'all that Charles is not on board. And you get a little clip of him saying, you already did this. You already did this and lost 4 houses. Why would you do it again? And she said, I feel like I got to do it. And he said, well, good luck. Okay. Good luck. I know I'm your husband. I'm supposed to support and listen to you when you crying the blues, but damn, this is not your forte. This is not something you know how to do well. So go on with your bad self. Anyway, Amari asked her, what is this? Okay, is this something you're really interested in? Because this doesn't even look like the houses you were buying before. And there's old tires in the backyard, spiders every damn place. Come on, mama. What is the problem? Why do you feel the need to be doing this, rehabbing projects like this, when this ain't you? And Angela said, damn it, Amari. Damn it. And she tears up. And she said she had so much loss last year, loss of 4 houses. You know, that's a blow to her business, loss of all that money, $2 million. And then the loss of her mother. She said that she has to see this project to completion. She said, I got to see it through because for me, it feels like it will be closure, even though I'm slowly learning that there is no closure, and there isn't. The loss of your mother is going to be something you feel for the rest of your life. Okay. But she said, I'm slowly learning that there is no closure. Okay. But she said that she's going to do it. She's up to the challenge. And even if she makes $1 profit, it's still $1. She's still going to do it. Okay. All right. So now we have Shamia again. Ooh, Shamia. Shamia meets up with to have a conference meeting. So I guess maybe she bought some space. Sorry about that, y'all. Shamia has bought a little conference space. She's got a little conference time, and she also brings in this new player. She has one of her friends, and she brings in this new player called Maximilian that she found on the internet, I'm assuming on social media, because she said that her husband, Gerald, doesn't want to have anything to do with this rum company. So Shamia has shown up in a little mini skirt suit with her professional wig on, and she is sitting here with Maximilian hug. I'm a hugger, and meeting this guy for the first time, and she has all these people over there in Grenada. She has all these people over there in Grenada on a Zoom, right? And Chrissy Snow lets everybody know that she's down with having her personal brand, herself, be the brand of this rum. And she's thinking that she wants the silhouette of her peach on the bottle. Okay, so she got this man that she's never met before sitting across the table from her. Shamia stands up after making the announcement. I'm a Georgia peach, an authentic Georgia peach. Everybody knows I'm a peach. I'm juicy, and I'm thinking about having the back of my ass represent this peach bottle. Okay, I'm gonna give a whole new meaning to butt shots, and everybody's sitting there giggling. And then Shamia gets up, turns her back to the Zoom call so that they can see it, and the man that she just met can see it, and then do this squat like she's Marilyn Monroe or something. See? And then she's giggling and sits back down. Oh my God, I've never been so embarrassed. I was like, Shamia. Anyway, no one found, I don't know, people might have laughed. I didn't laugh. I thought, girl, this just makes you look green. This is exactly what is the very opposite of anything that your husband got going on. That personality, beautiful on a basketball court, right? Whatever you're doing with the Falcons and whatever, the football, the basketball, whatever, that's great. But not here, not here. Not, you want to put your business mind on, because all the people with the money is doing is looking at you to see, how do I get over on you? Because you look like you're real easy to get over on, okay? Everybody knows you come to the table and you got to give them a personality that's very opposite of that shit. Laugh, smile, giggle when it's over, but when you're making the deal, no ma'am. And you definitely aren't standing up and doing a squat. Who does that? Oh my goodness. You said Shamia is a shafool. Oh my God. Anyway, yes, baby. She's going to be called Chrissy Snow from this point forward. She's a Black Chrissy Snow, and that's on God. Anyway, after she does all that, they start talking numbers. No, Shamia says some shit about, I've decided I want a peach rum. Something you would have asked already before you signed the deal. I want a peach rum. That's how I want, that's the first rollout. And she goes, but I didn't see any peaches when I was in Grenada last time. Do y'all have peaches there? And they said, no, we don't have not one peach tree. Okay. We import our peaches from Mexico like y'all, like you do, but we don't have any peaches. And Shamia says, oh, well, I'm going to have to ship it over to y'all. And Maximilian said, that's going to be challenging. That's going to be challenging. And she goes, oh, okay. Well, he's telling me it's going to be challenging. And then Maximilian says, and expensive. Flights going in both ways, first with fruit, then coming back with the liquor, and then back in with the fruit. And so he's trying to add it up. And now Shamia makes a face like, I got it. She doesn't like to look stupid when it comes to this kind of stuff. And yet she is green as fuck. And everybody could be green. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time I'm hearing about the shit. But you can tell that you should have figured all this out before you signed the dotted line, because you said you went over there to sign the paperwork. And now you're working things out for the first time in this meeting. And so she's like, wow. So they talk a little bit more about numbers, and we don't hear that part on screen. But Shamia's like saying some things like, well, how much is it going to take to bring this into the United States? And then you hear them say probably $30 a bottle. $30 a bottle. And now Shamia's like, shit, Gerald was probably right. You guys aren't market ready because I can't foot that bill. Gerald is completely out. Anything that happens from this point forward is my money. Is my money. And now it's making sense to her that she signed a bad deal. And she says, okay, well, I guess at this point I have to, do a little more numbers crunching, and I'll, me and Max will shoot you guys over some, information, and y'all can send it back to me and let me know what y'all think. Okay. I don't know what it's going to cost you to get out of it, but you better pay your ass to get out of it because they're not ready. And the idea that you would be even asking for peach rum now, when he said market ready, he meant that the shit needed to be done. Everything should be done. All you're doing is slapping Shamia's face or name, or in this situation, her butt on the bottle. That's it. Oh my God. Anyway, it was pretty hard. It was pretty hard for her to take, and she basically had to say Gerald was right. I guess I should have thought about this a little more. Unfortunate. All right, let's talk Pinky Cole and her husband Derek. They are on a date. Pinky said that her and her husband really didn't get a chance to date that much because, they would just go to Pound Town every time they saw each other before the kids got here. And then the kids got here, you know what I'm saying? And after every pregnancy, she was pregnant again. And now that they've decided that they don't want any more kids, now they can actually sit and date each other and get to know each other better, because the majority of their marriage has been business focused. And now we are learning from Pinky that their marriage is a little bit fragile, because she says that even, I think, in the conversation she had with Cynthia, she said something like, I don't know if I can trust everybody because my business is on the rocks, and, my marriage is fragile. And so now she's trying to strengthen the marriage by going on dates and telling him that she's $20 million in debt and about to go bankrupt. She's too afraid to even tell him that she's going bankrupt at this point. I hate that you brought this to the show, girl. I really do. I didn't know it was that sensitive for you. But at the same time, thank you. At the same time, hopefully it does what it's supposed to do. Anyway, she sits there and she lets them know that she's been having a real hard time. She's been going to hell with her business. And he tells her, I love you. I love that you're a strong woman. I would do it all over again. I wouldn't change a fucking thing. Even though we have had some hard times, I wouldn't change a thing. I'd still marry you again. I love you, but you got to tell me how I can be there for you. I'm doing fine. So if we're in this, tell me what I can do to help you solve your problems. If you need money, I'll give you money. This is all the stuff that he's saying, and he's saying all the right things. And she tells him, thank you, but I'm not going to take it because it's not your problem. And he's just listening. But at the same time, God damn, you know what I'm saying? Slutty Vegan is amazing. That's why I know it's going to do what it's supposed to do. But he's telling her, it's hard to watch you struggle. It's hard to watch you struggle. I love you, but you gotta figure out how to balance stuff. Can I be there for you emotionally, spiritually, financially? I mean, if he goes bankrupt tomorrow and you were doing well, do you think that he would ask you for money? That's the real question. Something in my heart tells me yes. Something tells me yes. I mean, I heard about his story. In fact, I talked about his story. I put it on my community wall, how he was, I think he had a small cheesesteak business right beside a gas station. It was adjoined to a gas station. And it was the brat, if I'm not mistaken, who walked up in that mofo. And when she walked out, she said it was the best cheesesteak she ever had. So she ended up texting it on or putting it on Twitter. And he said after that day, that spot stayed jumping. There was never a day that he didn't have a customer, and he was thinking about closing. So that's how fast your life can change. You know what I'm saying? If you're living right. But he said, yeah, if that's how you need me, you should be telling me about it. Anyway, they tell each other that, they're each other's best friends. They pinky swear to be, there for each other. We'll see. I like Pinky Cole's story, but her marriage is giving me a question mark. Her marriage is giving me a question mark right now, and she's the one who's giving it to me because she keeps making me think that they really don't know each other really. Like, that's my baby daddy, that's my husband, but if this shit blows up tomorrow, it is what it is. That's always the vibe I get from her. I'm not sure. Y'all talk to me in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. And let's get down to this final scene, which is Porsha. Porsha and K. Michelle. So K. Michelle decides to hold this meeting with Porsha. She is in there ordering drinks. I think she ordered like a yellow girl for her and a red girl for Porsha, because she says she's like a mean girl and a devil. And Porsha walks up while K. Michelle is saying this, and she heard it, and you could tell that her mood changes. But she's trying to get in like, oh, maybe let me just pretend like I didn't hear it. Bitch, you heard it, and you know that she's coming for you before you even start, right? So they sit down, and K. Michelle starts off like, I got something I had to talk to you about, because you shocked me, Porsha. You shocked me. And Portia's like, well, how are you? I'm trying to, I want to be there for you. I was sending you text messages and asking how you were. And K. Michelle said, I'm mad at you. And that's when Porsha picks up her phone, child, just like she did with Shamia in that other scene. She picked up that phone and started pushing buttons because she's like, I do not want a confrontation with you today. Okay. Porsha is literally dressed in red. She is coming, and y'all know red, anytime a person wears red, it's supposed to ward off evil, like any type of evil that's coming for you. So Porsha is head to toe red, long ass maxi dress. And she's like, not today. I thought we was going to come kiki and that'll be it. I had no idea that you are coming for me. And she's trying to search her mind while she's pushing buttons. And finally she just said, what would K. Michelle have to be mad at me about? I don't know. Okay, even though production already told you she was calling somebody a damn bimbo after y'all had that spa date. Anyway, K. Michelle said, and I want y'all all to pay attention. K. Michelle said, I told you about how that puddle bust, my butt popped, and then you asked me if I had a miscarriage. And Porsha like squints her eyes. She goes, Kay, I didn't know anything about that. She said, you told me you were in the hospital, but I didn't come up there. And not only that, that would have been like the furthest thing from my mind. I would not think you would share that because for whatever reason, Portia's thinking it's super sensitive. I wouldn't think you would share that. Then Porsha says, but you didn't tell me that. I talked to Shamia. And now Kay's like, so if you talk to Shamia, I know she fucking told you. Because Shamia knew, right? Possibly. But Kay says, even still, in other words, even if I didn't specifically give you the details about why I was in the hospital, you shouldn't have said to me that I had a miscarriage. That's very sensitive. That is a very sensitive subject. Why would you even bring that up? Again, Porsha's shocked as fuck. Porsha said, I've had miscarriages, girl, like bad ones, to the point of where I was in the house by myself and I had a similar experience. So that's why I brought it up. Like, I'm here, there's things happening to my body. I don't know. Kay tells Porsha that she was caught off guard and that she thought that that meeting was a safe space because you know how bad I want to have a little girl. Again, it's not connecting to Porsha because she doesn't know exactly what was going on. But Porsha said, listen, Kay, your ass surgery was the furthest thing from my mind. I know that you've had some trouble with it, but it was not on the forefront for me. I just didn't think about it like that. Anyway, she said, I am very sorry that you believe that I was being insensitive to you. I apologize because that's not the case. Kay says, listen, in her confessional, she said, listen, I don't care if we share the same health issues. Don't care. Porsha is insensitive and she is a bimbo. And I stand on that. She said in the South, or where she comes from, they'll rather call you a bimbo than a bitch. And right now, she is a bimbo to her. Porsha said, Porsha said, so you were talking about me? You were calling me a bimbo in them text messages? And she said, yeah, I was calling you a bimbo. That's exactly right. Anyway, Porsha said that her and K Michelle are going to have to roll back their relationship and then roll it back out the way it's supposed to be done, because this right here is absolutely nasty. She doesn't like it. And then Porsha said something very real to Kay. She said, listen, girl, perhaps inviting you to that conversation I had with Kelly put something in your mind about me or who you think I am, but I don't want you to carry that. I shouldn't have brought you there to have that little situation with Kelly. And Kay said, yeah, you shouldn't have. Okay. And don't put me in that situation again, because I'm a reformed crash out. And I don't like that shit. And Porsha laughs and she was like, I'm a reformed crash out too. I get it. But Porsha said, I want to commend you for giving me the benefit of the doubt and asking me to meet with you before you went and told it to everybody, because that's really how she gets started. And Kay said, I dragged your ass from here to Timbuktu. I dragged you from here to Timbuktu with Cynthia and with Pinky Cole, child. So I did that. Don't you worry about it. However, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. We can start again. And then in her confessional, Kay said that she doesn't trust Porsha as far as she can see her, and she's never going to let her play on her top again, because Porsha knew what was going on. Anyway, that just seems so weird to me, because even if she did know what was going on, just say that. But the fact that she kind of walked it backward and said, well, even if I didn't tell you, why would you bring up the miscarriage? It was a bunch of women in the room talking about something exploded. You stood up and your dress turned wet. What did you want her to say? Maybe she could have said, girl, did you piss yourself? I mean, they were asking you a lot of personal questions. Like, was it red? Was it red liquid? What color was it? Basically asking you if you knew it was an infection. Like I was saying before, all of that stuff was just as personal as asking you whether or not you had a miscarriage. It really was, especially since they're kind of saying there was things that led up to you should have known that that was going to happen to you, or that it was happening to you before you even made it on set to sing. It probably exploded when you were sitting there because your body was under a lot of stress. You had the jitters, and then all of a sudden that started oozing out of your body enough to, as you put it, fill a cushion. That's a lot. Kim, you said, I'm on Porsha's side. I hit the wrong button. But anyway, I did ask y'all to choose the crown or the clown. Whose side are you on? And if you are watching the replay back, you guys, vote in the comment section, okay? But I said, listen, whose side are you on regarding the miscarriage? Are you on Kay's side because you see Porsha as being insensitive and slow? And 51% of y'all voted for Kay, but this is so close, it may as well be 50-50, because 49% of you voted for Porsha. You said that Kay is deflecting and she's using Porsha as an easy target, which is where I am too. So it's truly 50-50. She's using Porsha as an easy target because bringing that storyline to the show is going to open things up for other questions. People are going to get real involved. And if you start, what's the word I'm looking for? If you start effing with people too much, they're going to start talking about the other part of that infection. And they're going to go look for people that know more about it. Okay. It's great that you're saying, you had a whole team of people clean you up and blow dry your dress. But you left those people with a story to tell. You left those people with a story to tell. And now that you're on reality TV telling it, you don't know who's going to slide into the GMs and give the other side of that story, or give more to that story, and give more of that story to whoever's on the show, because that's what they're arming themselves with right now. And it feels like you're deflecting. You're making this about the miscarriage so that people have more sensitivity towards you, more compassion, won't give you as much. Let's just all go after Porsha. That's what it feels like to me. Sorry. Okay? And I don't hate anybody. I just realized, if you almost died, that's just as sensitive, you almost passing, as, even though they caught it early, but it sounds like you were sitting on that infection for a minute. It just happened to break there, but you probably should have went to the hospital days ago, maybe weeks ago. Okay? Anyway, you guys chose Kamish. Well, I'm going to say it's 50-50. It was a tie. This is the first time I've ever had a tie. First time I've ever had a tie for the crown or clown. So that's interesting. I also want to give you guys the scene stealer. The scene stealer is Gerald, because the way he was fed up with Chrissy Snow, the way he was fed up with the Black Chrissy Snow child on that phone call, and he hopped himself up and said, I'm done. I got another call to make and it won't be here. The way he is gently handling his wife, because he does not want to have a blow up. I'm sure they have arguments like any other couple, but right now he feels like he's watching money go down the drain, and he is a numbers guy. He is a linear thinker. She is not. She is a frou-frou thinker. Okay. And unfortunately, her frou-frou is getting them, not them, because I don't think they're in financial trouble at all. But I do think that she's going to have to go to him and ask him for some help if she wants this to succeed. And I don't think he wants to put that type of money into that damn room. He already told her, absolutely not. Yes. Oh, look. Kim said, hell no. Cake, it's the clown. Cake, it's the clown. That is funny. Anyways, you guys, that's it. That's all. That was the show. You put this back up here. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with this long ass episode, child. Woo, it had 11 scenes. That's a lot to try to break down into a review. Okay. But I do appreciate every single one of y'all for coming in and supporting me. And of course, my members, y'all know I love y'all when y'all come through. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Miss Lady D Keys for moderating for me. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the commentary, all the chit chat that happened in the comments in the live chat today, because y'all know I like to go back and read what y'all got to say. Talk to me in the comment section too, and make sure y'all come back to hit that hype button for me. Follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. Until the next one, bye-bye.